This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Long Run live stream and podcast. We are live on YouTube. We're not on Facebook tonight. And Chris isn't here at the moment either, so he might appear shortly. But tonight I am with Toby, Jatila, and Chris, like I said, might appear at any moment now.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows exactly. Firstly, huge thank you to our sponsors at Skechers. Please head over to skechers.co.uk to see all of their latest shoes and clothes. And we always talk about it, but these hoodies are really, really comfy and soft. So I definitely recommend one of those. We're going to be talking about best race day tips tonight. Because this weekend is mad. We have got landmarks. There's Kew Gardens tomorrow. There is Brighton 10k and marathon on Sunday, and obviously all the guys that are out in Ibiza doing 12k halves and marathons tomorrow. So huge shout out.
And apparently there's Reading Marathon on this weekend as well.
Oh, Reading
Marathon. I saw the signs today. That's the only reason I know.
Can I just say, Toby, you've added some value.
I'm going now. Thanks very much. I'm going to replace myself with
the whole
Chris.
hour.
I'm like, hold on, that's the most he said, and it was actually something useful within the first 2 minutes. This is brilliant. We're on a roll tonight, and I managed to do the intro without screwing it up, so that was good, wasn't it? Oh, Paris Marathon too.
Paris, Guernsey Marathon.
Oh God, right,
I
loads.
was in Guernsey earlier, actually.
What?
That could be a nice place to go and run. Have you ever been?
No.
Oh, it's brilliant. I've cycled round it.
Is it hilly?
It's hillier than you think. There's one like horrible hill near St. Peter's Port.
Do you know who would love that?
Is he here?
Yeah.
What, do you reckon he should cycle and I can
I don't do biking.
Yeah, we'll see him, mate.
You do?
I'm not doing any biking.
All
I
right.
refuse. And I think we should actually refuse to talk about biking. Can you redo the open because I missed it?
No, I did it. I know.
It went right this time. We were good.
We're not doing it again. But before we start talking about all the other stuff, I've got 2 shout outs to do actually. So the first one is to Theo and Rebecca from who go to Hayden's group in Surrey on a Thursday. They're getting married on Monday, so it's the first FORDY wedding of the year, which is amazing. So huge congrats to them for Monday and beyond, and we're sending you all our love and luck. Isn't that night? And they had a great night last night. I saw loads of pictures. I was a bit like,
it looked amazing.
Yeah, Hayden always pulls it out of the bag on like the fun level. So Petra's getting married soon.
Oh,
Are
sorry.
you in a session?
What's that? No, you've just mentioned Hayden. I don't know whether you saw, but on Instagram, if anybody has not followed Hayden running with Hayden? Running
with Hayden.
Love him. Just go on there tonight. He's finally finished the pool. He's put a picture on there of his new pool. So check it out. He's been waiting, bless him, for ages to get it done because over in Florida, I think it's in the East Wing. He's got his big like gym pool. What are you laughing for? It's true. Go on his Instagram. Running. What is it? Running with Hayden. It's Tone.
I think it was his comeback tour. The Butlins tour he just finished.
Yeah,
with his
bandmates. But anyway, it's good news. So that's where he is tonight. He's they've opened up grand opening of his new pool. So check it out. I'm hoping to go down there. We've not been invited yet. Have you been invited to the?
I can't imagine you'll be the first on the invitation list, to be honest. I haven't had the call up yet, but I'll be there.
Yeah, I think we should all go, really. Tobe, who's Shane? Why am I being called Shane?
Who?
Well, because I changed my name to Hayden because I was sort of, because he's not here. There we go. Change it.
Can I just do my one other email? Because this is really important and then I'm handing over and you're all in. So, but no, this is really important because actually Phil Jordan emailed in and said, I'm going to read it out. She said, hi, team. Just want to say thank you for making me smile again and loving my running. He had a really tough year and he lost his mum in October and he was ready to give up everything. He'd been running for 21 years. He's 52 now and he found it really hard. But he said he's discovered the podcast and he's just back in love with running, and he's said that we made him laugh. Great advice. He's watching the YouTube whilst he's on the treadmill. And listen to the podcast whilst he's out running on the road and in the car. So he said, thanks. So thank you guys so much. Big love. Thank you for giving me my mojo back. And I hope to meet you all at a race soon. So
thank you, Phil.
You. Yeah.
That's kind words. And I think that's a leveler when you read something like that. And it makes us all glad that we come on here on a Friday, talk absolute nonsense, because at least it's get through to one person who enjoys it. So thank you very much, Phil. We really appreciate
as well where your local is, Phil, because I'm sure there'll be someone around at an event or a park run where we can just meet up and get together. So definitely let us know whereabouts you are.
Yeah,
he could be in Scotland, and we could do a field trip up to Scotland. What do you think? I reckon we should do like live podcasts, right, everywhere all around the country. So if you've got like a venue, something like, we don't want anything as big as the O2, but maybe something like the Hammersmith Apollo, something a little smaller. Then what we could do is around the country, we could just go to those and we could do this live all over the country. What do you think?
I mean, it'd be a great way to tour.
Yes, this is what I'm saying to you. And then
we could get a tour bus.
We could get a tour bus.
I'm not sure.
No, I don't do buses. I don't do biking and I don't do buses.
License. I have a minibus license. I will be driver.
Oh, I'll try it.
Have you got a minibus as well, or you've just got a license?
No, I don't have a minibus like just parked outside, but I have a minibus license. So if you get that minibus license, I'm ready to go. You have to do a license. You have to have a license to drive a minibus. I used to work for a school, so
hang on,
because there could be annoying people in the background, you know, in the back of the bus.
I just need to wind back a bit. I've been getting in Simon's minibus, right, for years, right? He's driving without a license. So if you're from the authorities, can you investigate this, please? Because I've been getting in there in this minibus of his. Have I been endangering my own life? He's not qualified as a minibus driver.
You'll be going in.
I think it depends. It must depend on what he's got. I was working with children.
He's got a VW camper thing.
He's got 5 seats.
Oh, so that's not a minibus.
Well, it is. It's got sliding doors and stuff. Is that not a minibus then?
No. But it does fit a marquee in the boot.
I'm talking a big 20-seater, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, we're talking big.
Have you got a helicopter license?
No, I haven't. I don't really think I'd be trusted with one.
Hang on, you've got a minibus. Like, what other licenses have you got? Can you serve
just a driving license. Yeah, I mean, that's probably it.
Oh, that's more licenses than that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what license.
Do you do horse riding?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I did when I was young, like kids.
But was you a cowgirl? Was you a wrangler?
Absolutely not. No. Oh, God bless Coco. She died.
Some of us were. And still are in their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you laughing at, Toad? Can I just? I've got to do a couple of shout outs because then we better talk about running. Have you told the viewers what we're talking about tonight? By the way.
Yeah, you missed it all.
I missed that. Sorry about that. Right. So, what was it I was going to say? Oh yeah. First, have you seen my Tokyo hat?
Oh,
I want everybody, not next week, because next week's a pre-record, right? The following week, you all need to tune in for that one. It's a belter because I'm going to have my new T-shirt on, okay, from Boston.
We're going to talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, we'll get around to that.
So that's coming your way in a couple of weeks. I would have had another major T-shirt arrival. The other thing you need to because just for that viewer who obviously loved commenting, and I'll keep coming back to him because I absolutely love him. Saturday, big news, 11 o'clock YouTube channel. Wait for it. What was that? The other thing I needed to say. The bite-size live stream is changing to 8 p.m. on Monday. If you turn up at 7 p.m., you're going to be waiting an hour. So just as a heads up. Okay. So there was the things on my list that I had to write down before Toby crashed my internet deliberately and called me Shane. So they're the couple of things that I had to get off my chest. Is that all right?
I'm quite nervous about this announcement tomorrow.
Why?
Well, I don't know anything about it, which makes me nervous.
It's major news. I'll be serious. It's major news. A lot of you actually genuinely will be shocked.
Right.
So I'll leave that with you. 11 o'clock tomorrow.
My brain's ticking. Like, what could it possibly be?
The announcement drops at 11 a.m. So UK time, by the way. UK time. Right. So have you talked about how busy this weekend is?
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed that
Did
as
I miss
well.
that as
We're all
well?
good. We're all up to date. We're
I
good.
know, because I'm just got major FOMO of all the people in Ibiza.
It
What
looks gorgeous.
What's your FOMO about? Is it the weather?
The
Is
weather.
it the morning?
Weather,
Is
really.
it the weather? Yeah.
Just the weather, really. Because I can hear the rain lashing against the window.
No.
To be honest, we did this run still on Wednesday. We did coach session, and we was doing Chase the Sun. We was going along the river. I would have been drier if I'd have got in the river.
Yeah, see, I can't. It's awful at the moment. What's going on?
We need to sort it out. I think we should all, honestly, being serious, I think we should all get on that plane, that private jet of his, and fly to Hayden's place in Florida.
I think I'm waiting for
Hayden.
Hayden.
Take Ibiza. I'll be fine with Ibiza. Ben seems to be having the time of his life. Don't get me started on him. But like, it looks gorgeous.
Ben is having the time of his life.
I know.
Ben's forgotten he's got to run London in 3 weeks. By the looks of it.
I did tell him.
I said to him the other day, I said to him on his Instagram, he posted, and I was like, "Oh, so beer over bio, is it? We'll see."
He's going. Can we put this? Oh, Toe. I've still got the power.
Oh.
Mark Lanhorn is loving my hat.
Oh, I was hoping
the Tokyo hat. I'll have a Boston one in a couple of weeks.
Jatilla was hoping you wouldn't put that up. She's had enough of your hat.
The hat's beautiful. If you listen to the pod and you're running along the river, take a moment and reflect, but also get on the YouTube channel and now look at my hat. It's a thing of beauty. But I've got a new one coming. I've got a Boston one coming.
Have you washed any of that?
What?
That hat, the top. And have you washed any of that in the last 3 weeks?
No. Why would I want to wash it?
Hygiene?
I live in it, Toby. See, if you gave me 2 gifts up here, I've got the other 2 gifts that you give me, but I'm not going to show them because it's an audio-based podcast. So I've got the other gifts that you gave me up there. You know that mouse thing.
I don't remember what they are.
Yeah, the keyring thing. So I hold it in.
That.
What?
Do you mean the cat?
Yeah, whatever it was. It looked like a mouse. I tried eating it, but it wasn't sweet. Learn your lesson. Right, can we talk about running?
Yeah, go on then.
Oh,
well, firstly, it's been a busy week. So the last time we saw Jatilla, obviously, we know you're going to Boston. You're now fully in taper mode.
Yes. Well, I've had a disaster this week. But before I get on to me, I just want to say, I can't believe it's been a week, but our lovely Mel has officially completed her 100th volunteer slot at Bushy last week. So it was my first time volunteering at Bushy, and I came in at a great time because it was a fantastic morning. I think we had literally everyone there. There was cake, there was Prosecco, there was capes, there was Mel doing her thing. Absolutely smashed it. The whole crew was there. I literally met the whole Surrey team. So it was just great. So just well done to Mel, who absolutely smashed it. Take charge. It was great to see her in action.
Talking about volunteering, I think Hayden messaged me. Again, I don't read most of the stuff, and I might be wrong, right? Okay. But he messaged me about, I swear it was the London Marathon volunteers. And I think he said we've got 35 people volunteering at the London Marathon this year.
That's strong.
That's incredible. So if you're one of those 35, if I got the number slightly wrong, don't shoot me. But that's incredible. So thank you to everybody who's volunteering. And thanks again for putting on, the 40 Runs Running Club out there at these major events. And obviously we all know we can't get these races and things off the ground without you guys. But honestly, mad love. And it just, people like Mel, she's done 100 park runs, but also the people like that who are going out. We've got people volunteering at London Landmarks this weekend, and all that sort of stuff. So just, good shout out that was.
Volunteering at Q as well tomorrow. Right. So they're all over. But you're right as well. The volunteering at London Marathon, you've got to be up really early on the other side of town.
It's easier to run it.
Yeah, it probably is. But yeah, so we were oversubscribed with people wanting to volunteer at London Marathon this year, which is amazing, isn't it? That people want to get involved.
That's hardcore. But going back to Jatilla, what were you saying about your running?
Yeah, gosh, well, I've had a bit of a disaster of a week. So last week, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm so just blasé. I'm completely unbothered in the fact that I went over on my ankle a little bit during a speed session last week when it was pelting with rain. I was like, right, I'm going to take it inside, just be cautious, don't want to risk going over on my ankle. What do? Go over on my ankle on the treadmill indoors. So typical, but I've done the work, and I feel like if you know that you've done the work and everything's gone to plan as you lead up to your race, there is absolutely no harm in just pulling back, getting on the bike, which I mean, I hadn't done before, so it's a new experience for me, but just seeing how it goes, you know? And I mean, it happens, you have to prepare for these things, and it is what it is. So yeah, I'm on volunteering tomorrow, and then back to the bike next week and just see how we go. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, I'm confident that I've done the work. I've got in my longest run, which was 20 miles. I feel confident. I can do the distance. I'm not going to stress. And just see how it goes. Because if you stress, you're not going to achieve anything.
Negative energy. You don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of my points, which we can go on to. Great role in there.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, no, apart from that, all good. It's good. Just
exactly. But how are you feeling in terms of, because the first 10 miles, apparently, is it 10 miles of downhill? Is it 10 miles?
I thought it was a little bit less.
Is it less or is it 5 miles? I can't remember exactly, but somebody said to me, I was talking to this bloke because he had his Boston jacket on.
Right. And you were
trying to steal it.
I was tempted because I saw it, right? But if I'd done the Boston, I would wear the jacket with pride. Obviously, I'm going to have my T-shirt as, you know, one of the majors. I'll have my T-shirt and my hat on. But, because I sort of took part with, you know, Gisela and Hayden doing it. But he was saying that, I can't remember the amount of distance, but he said it was downhill, that first section. He said it just knocked the living daylights out of his quads.
Right.
And he really felt it. He wasn't expecting that. Have you thought about that?
No, I haven't. Like, to be honest, I've had all my hill sessions in, and I do a lot of hill sessions, and I also sort of work on my downhill. I'm not someone that sort of pelts it downhill. Like, I'm not crazy. I know you can get a little bit carried away. So if anybody is doing Boston or even London, don't get carried away with sort of any sort of downhill parts. Just take it easy, stick to your watch, stick to your pace, stick to where you're comfortable. But no, I've done all of the work in terms of sort of hill training and things like that, and I'm prepared for sort of what's to come. So it's just sort of just preparing yourself sort of physically for, first of all, going to a different country, setting yourself up for the jet lag and sorting all of that out. But the hard work you've already done, you know. So
but hang on a minute, you're saying setting yourself up, oh, tight, Judith Chalmers. You were flying around there the other day, 20 miles in New York. So don't give it all the violins out. You'll be buzzing around New York.
I'm so glad I got that run in though. And I mean, Central Park, if you've run around it before, it ain't flat.
No, it's not.
For free, undulating as anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad I got that one sort of under the belt, because it's sort of given me that little bit of confidence to know that where I'm at. So yeah, we'll see how it goes over the next few weeks. But I'll be there.
Oh, this is brilliant. Sorry. Hayden just messaged me, right? Obviously, he's the grand opening of the thing. He's just said, what on this on Messenger, what have you said? Question mark. Why are quite a few people started to follow me on Insta?
What, right now?
There we go. That's brilliant. Everyone get over running at, what is it, Hayden? Running
with Hayden.
Running with Hayden. You can see his new pool.
We've plugged in more than the podcast here. He's going to be delighted.
That's brilliant. No, I'm sorry too much, but that's brilliant. Oh, Tobe, you're getting hammered in the comments. Why is Tobe so chatty?
I think
best episode ever. Never heard Speedgoat talk so much. Speedgoat on fire. Has he got vodka in that glass? You're getting hammered. I love it.
Toby, have you done any running this week?
Yeah, one.
Oh, God.
One run.
Your life.
I know.
I think it's 6 miles or so. It was all right.
Well, he ain't got anything to train for at the moment, has he?
Depends.
Well,
and it's a bit wet, and what's the point?
So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to train for next?
What I'm going to train for? No idea.
You don't think about booking anything or doing anything?
I've got stuff booked in. I just don't know if I want to train for it.
Train for it.
Okay. Well, at least you said about that, the better, I think.
Well, you just go and run, can't you?
Right, we've got some questions coming in, people. I'm on question duty tonight. I'm taking leadership here. Right, I've arranged.
He's taking leadership. Turns up 10 minutes late, and now he's like.
Well, he's being useful. Leave him to it.
Arrived in Brighton from Glasgow for the marathon on Sunday. I'm thinking about doing park run. Yeah, do park run, Ryan. Get out there, see some people, relax, unwind, get some fresh air. It's good for you.
Just take it easy.
Yeah. What we've got here? Finely tuned athlete Speedgoat needs no training. Sorry, it wasn't a question, was it? Oh, hello from Ohio. That's a new place. I love Ohio. Has anyone been there? Have you been there?
Ohio? No, I haven't.
It's cracking. People are amazing. Right, let's crack on because I can't. I'll be honest with you, I can't bother to scroll back up. So lazy.
You're so useless.
I know.
I'm taking charge of the questions tonight, so I can't be asked. We love to hear it.
I'm like that. Chris Rogers, this is important, thinks that Jatila can probably drive a tractor too.
Oh,
yeah.
Now we're talking.
I wonder if you
could be in a tractor pulling up.
Yeah, I wonder if you could drive a minibus. Let us know. Send what's the contact thing?
FORDYruns.com/long run.
Oh, good point. Good plug. So after this episode, we are recording an email special. We pulled out. There was quite a few of them. Sorry about it. It went quite. Gang, no one's listening. They went quite a way back when I checked them, like 2022. So yeah, there was a couple of that. Yeah. Anyway, I've got some out that's like London marathon focused. I know we get accused of talking about marathons all the time, but honestly, I think the special that we're going to record after this will be useful to you guys who are running maybe Manchester and London or any other, Edinburgh or whatever. Check that out. But it will be a little bit more London centric because we did get asked by some people to record a sort of London marathon tips, but we're recording that afterwards. And we have pulled out some of those emails. So keep sending your emails in. And I think what we're going to have to do, team, is we're going to have to keep doing email specials. It's the only way we're going to get on top of them because there's like billions of them. So,
and in case anyone's wondering if they're like doing London or a marathon the next few weeks, when is that going out?
Next week. Maybe next week. I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll let you know. Keep have a look at the Instagram and the Facebook.
I'm shaking his head. No, let's say next week. It's big news coming Saturday. I can't really say any more than that.
All right. Well, look, I'm going to say it's going to go out next week. The Colin Jackson special goes out next week as well.
That comes out Friday.
We're just going to make.
It's going to have to be a big week, isn't it? I think.
Massive week. Massive weekend. Massive weekend, really.
All right. Right. Well, look, let's talk about what we're actually meant to be talking about tonight, which is about running. We're meant to be we're talking about race day tips because, as we said, there is Kew, Landmarks, Guernsey, Paris, Ibiza, the whole lot. Everything's going on this weekend. And so people are getting nervous. People are going to be kind of going, right, I'm 2 days away. Everyone's going to be stuffing their face with pasta and pizza, thinking that's all they should eat. Which you can't nod your head, Toby.
I'm doing that anyway, and he's not even racing.
He had a KFC earlier.
I know, hero.
It's all right all day, though.
What did you have from KFC?
Well, I started with a trilogy or box meal. Forgot how big it was, so I got some bite things with it, and then got a little wrap as well.
Speago diet.
But I was stuck on M25 for like 2.5 hours, so I think it's acceptable. I'll
make him right. Carry on.
Anyway, right. So, race day tips. What do we advise people? What are the best tips we've got? So, come tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, next week, whenever it is, you're going to be kind of night before race day.
You know what? Go on. I feel like
ladies first. Ladies first. I've just remembered something that somebody just told me on Instagram, but ladies first, go.
No, so one of my tips that Chris had mentioned in the comments, which was one of the first comments to come up this evening, was make no changes. Now, live by this, make no changes. I know it can get exciting, might be your first ever race. You might have just bought a brand new pair of trainers or a new pair of shorts. If you haven't tested them, you don't know what they're going to be like. Don't change. Make no changes, whether that be to your food, whether that be to anything. I know that quite a lot of people get excited when they go to expos and things for marathons and you buy all this stuff. Don't wear it on the race day because you haven't tried it. Put the top away. But yes, I definitely make no changes. So preach to that, Chris, as well. That was my top one.
Can I just say, Jatila, so you wouldn't, right? Let's say you get to Boston. You've never had a carrot and beetroot burger. You wouldn't be trying one of those for lunch?
Absolutely not.
Right.
No, I wouldn't. I would stick real safe. I mean, yeah, I'd stick real safe until the second that I finish the race, and then I'll be all guns blazing with what I want to try. But yeah, I'd be so nervous. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago when we did our podcast. And it was kind of like, I wouldn't change it if something doesn't work, or if something works, I wouldn't change it. And it goes the same for this. If you know you're comfortable, if you've fueled with a certain gel, if you've worn a favourite pair of shorts and they're comfy and they're long enough and they don't make you chafe and all these things, don't change it. Don't change it just for a race day, just for the race day photos. It's not worth it.
Toby, how do you feel about that?
It depends where you are, really, doesn't it?
If you're in Amsterdam, for example, you would basically ignore all of that advice, wouldn't you, Toby?
Well, yeah, I'd probably have something like a carrot and beetroot burger and then a bit of green tea.
I feel like you can just do this, though. I feel like you can just do this.
You can.
Like, normal people can't.
I can't do it as well as Simon.
Oh, Simon, just don't get me started on that, boy. That's just wrong what he eats the day before a race.
He's have a curry for breakfast and go and run.
Oh. Toby did nearly miss the start of the race. Let's not forget that.
Oh yeah, he did. He had some problems in Amsterdam. He had some problems, and he had to queue for a long time to relieve himself of those problems. Didn't he, Toby? Nearly missed the start of the race.
I think I actually preached. There's Steve in the comments there. He said, I bought a new flip belt, wore it on marathon day for the first time. Hip was in bits from mile 17.
Yeah, it's true. It's a classic, isn't it? Don't try anything new on race day and all that. But what I was going to say, because hang on, I'll tell you who it was. Oh, tight. Just talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Well, Toby, have you got one?
No, wait. I got it. Jamie Rose messaged me.
Hi, Jamie Rose.
On Instagram. I don't know if I'm meant to give his name out, but he messaged me and tagged me because London, you can at the expo, it's back, but you can personalise your race vest again. They used to do it years ago that you could rock up and get your jersey with your name on, and it is obviously a really big tip. Even if like you've got Brighton on Sunday or whatever, and you ain't done it, get yourself some iron-on, go Hobbycraft or something, and get some of those iron-on letters and that lot. Put on there like speed goat across it or whatever, and wear that on Sunday, because honestly, it really does help. But London Marathon are going to be back doing that at the expo, so there was never a reason to go to the expo other to get your race number. Now there's a sort of slightly better reason to go to the London Expo, because I think it's a really good thing to get done. What?
Pre-orders only, apparently.
Oh, really? Well, I'd do it. Pre-order it. Get it sorted, because I think it's a really good idea. Unless you want to do it at home, but if you're anything like me, you're going to just put a dirty gravy gold through your top with an iron. So yeah,
do that themselves.
Do it. So, but that wasn't. Was that a race day tip? That was kind of.
It is a tip, having your name on your top.
Yeah. Kind of same, isn't it?
Well done.
Yeah, there you go. Added some value tonight. Turned up late. Added value. I'm off now.
Right, go on. What have you got?
What have I got?
Yeah, come on. You must have a tip.
Yeah, see, I would say just try and chill out. That's my tip, is just chill out. Just like read all the information before, maybe not the day before, like I normally do, or message someone late on and go. But make sure the week before you've worked out where you're starting, where you're heading, how you're getting there, just so that you're like as chilled as you can on the morning. You're not trying to work out what you're meant to be doing, where you're meant to be going.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Information is key.
Toby's got an annoying, really good personality trait. So just put your fingers in your ears, because I'm going to compliment you and then carry on. But he's so chilled out about everything, right? Like on another level. Some people say he's horizontal, but genuinely, it is a really good personality trait to have on the morning of a race. He's so chilled out. He ain't got a care in the world. And if you can take some of that speed goat-ness from him, it's the only thing I would take from him, by the way. But if you can, when you're in that race pen, or you're going to, you're on the train and you're getting a little bit anxious or whatever, just think, I am speed goat, and just get that calm in your mind. Seriously, it's so annoying because he's so chilled out. I'm like walking up and down. I've got my old leg shaking. I'm talking to myself. I've been to the toilet 80,000 times. I'm talking, to any random person, even if they're not looking at me, I'm talking to them, and I'm making lists. Yeah. But if you can just take a step back and try and be a little bit like Speed Goat, then I honestly think it can be a really positive thing, just to be calm and be, and you said it about that negative energy.
Yeah.
On race morning, some of that energy that you're using that you don't need to, right? It's just negative. It's a waste of energy. So just calm down and try and be annoyingly a little bit like Speed Goat for maybe a couple of minutes. What do you think, Admin? I think you need a bit of that.
Yeah, I do on race day morning, especially, which is why I think it's a lot of races. I'm very lucky that I travel to with you guys, and Simon's the same. Being in the pen with Simon is brilliant because he's just like, don't worry about it. He's literally just like, just don't worry about it. Just go.
Oh.
Don't worry about anyone around you. He's like, you just do what you need to do. Don't worry about anything else. And you're like, oh yeah, all right, I'll just go out and do what I need to do. So they're all very calming, which is good. One of my tips is don't overfuel that morning or the night before. I think it's very easy, right? Especially with marathons in particular, or if it's your first half and everyone goes, oh, you need to carb load, you need to eat loads of pasta. You don't need to eat 3 portions of pasta, right?
Well, I quite like that.
But not in one sitting. Like, I love pasta, right? But you don't want to do that and then wake up feeling really awful. And also, I've done this, which is on that morning you think, oh God, it's a bit warmer than it is when I've trained. I better drink a load of water. And you end up overhydrating, overfueling. You either need the toilet, you've got a stitch because you're doing everything differently. It doesn't mean don't have anything, right? But do what you usually do. Have a breakfast that you've tried in your training. Have a bottle of water, but don't guzzle it down, right? Just small sips, little and often. So
actually, you're right. I still put, because I struggled in Edinburgh with I think it was wind, actually, to be honest, in the end. But I put it down. I think I told, well, I don't remember. No, don't listen to me. But I had too much water in the room beforehand.
Yeah.
We bought these big bottles and we thought it was going to be warm, so we were like hydrating, like, you know, we're going to go and live on the surface of Mars. And I was just, and I drank, and I never drink that much water. I don't know what I was thinking, but I swear I put those cramps in that. If you watch that vlog,
yeah,
I was like ruined at like 21, 22 with the worst sort of side pains. You know, when you get it under your rib cage, and I had that and I couldn't get rid of it. And I think I was topping up with water the whole way, but I already had like way too much beforehand. I think you're right on that. Oh, by the way, Matthew B, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It means a lot. So thank you very much. I've got to give a shout out to all our members, by the way, of the YouTube channel. You can join the YouTube channel. Don't ask me anything other than that, but thanks very much. But yeah, I think I overhydrated as well. And why I did that, I've got no idea. But
I think it's
honestly
quite easy to do.
What?
It's quite easy to do, overhydrate, and it's quite easy to overhydrate on the course as well, especially on the longer run later on when you're starting to feel it. Yeah. I've done it multiple times.
But I've done it at the beginning as well, because you go, oh, I better take it whilst it's there, because everyone says to you, oh, you don't want to get to the point where you're feeling like you need it, right? So you don't want to get to the point where you're feeling like you need the gel, or you're feeling like you need the water, or whatever it is, the Lucozade, whatever you're having. So I was taking it at every bloody station, thinking, oh, I better take this, I better drink this and get enough down me. And then you're starting to feel sick and full. So do what you've practiced.
All right. Well, look, we've talked about sort of pre-race day tips. What about in the race? Jatila.
Oh, I reckon it's really difficult to say just focus on your own race, because I feel like when you're running around with so many other people, left, right, in front of you, behind, people shouting, people screaming for your name, it is really difficult to sort of focus on your own race. But you've more than likely, you've gone out with a race day plan and you've kind of got something in your head that you want to focus on and you want to stick with. And it's so easy to be sort of led on a path, but really try and stick to your own race.
Yeah,
it's really, really difficult to try and do, but I always try and say to myself, I've come out with a plan. If it doesn't go to plan, I've always got a backup plan. And I think it's what you'd say with the sort of the silver, bronze, gold sort of lining. Really try and focus. If you don't think you're going to reach one of those, drop back and focus on the other. It's really important to stick to your own plan. It's so easy to sort of go off with someone when you feel good. It happens all the time, but just really try and stick to the plan that you've got in mind. And even if you need to, I tend to write things on my wrists, just in case of sort of like pacing. I know for the first time I ever did London, I pelted it for like the first sort of mile because I was just so excited. Everyone was screaming for you. Everyone was so happy, but you need to try and pull yourself back a little bit and just sort of focus on what you're there to do. So yeah, I tend to write things on my wrists. Sometimes I think someone mentioned in our podcast, the ladies podcast the other day, they wrote quotes from family members, just something to sort of inspire you or push you along a little bit.
Have you ever used one of them paste pockets?
No.
I have.
Have you? Any good?
Well, not because I've got quite small wrists. It was too big.
It's like an armband.
What?
Put your phone in it.
I came up with a great idea the other day, though.
Oh, no.
God.
No, I thought this one was quite good, actually.
Oh, hang on. Should I inform the head of merchandise?
No, it's nothing to do with that.
Oh.
So race organ. So along the course, you get signs that go mile 5 or kilometre 8, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they print some like splits on those signs? Do you know, if you're doing a 10K? No, but if they've just got...
I'm going to run up to it. I'm going to stop. I'm going to read. Let me just go down to the 5-hour marathon.
It'd be big. So these signs are quite big.
What, like in Piccadilly Square?
No, but on the big races, they have big totems,
This is
don't
the
they?
stupidest idea you've had.
And then you can look at your watch and see if you're on track.
How are they going to know?
Because you look at your watch and see when you started.
Okay, so look, in the comments, tell us if this is a good idea, and please email in. And when I said to be like Speedgoat, just ignore all of that because he's a complete idiot. That's the worst thing How can that be a good idea? I'm running. Oh yeah, I'm running along doing my sub 4. Hang on, let me just stop for an hour and work out where I am on each mile board.
No, because it was say you're doing a 10K and you're at 5 kilometers.
Yeah, because I'm going to stop.
Say you wanted an hour 10K.
Yeah.
Then it'd say, 1 hour 30 minutes.
Yeah, but what about the people who are running a 30-minute 10K and the people who are running a 2-hour 10K?
Well, it have like 4 different options. It won't show everything, obviously.
Yeah, but what happens if my PB is 3:57 and I want to run a 3:56?
Well, then you've got to look at part of yourself, but it's a little bit.
I've ever heard since the
What about the people that start at the back as well?
Yeah.
But you look at your own watch, don't you?
No,
it's based on your own time, not the start time.
Ever talk on this podcast again? Unless you've got something said. Why don't you ring Hayden up and ask him if he needs his pool cleaned? Because that's about as much value as you can add.
No, I can have plenty of value here.
Honestly. That's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life.
I think it's brilliant.
What's really funny is the reason I'm crying is because Toby told Petra and I this idea on a run, and I had a similar response, which is, I'm not sure this is going to work, right? But hold on, he was adamant, Petra is our witness, that you were going to think this was a brilliant idea.
It's brilliant. I still think it's a brilliant idea. I'm going to go and speak to London Marathon events.
I don't get how I'm going to stop and read it.
I know. I just need to kind of work out how. Okay, I don't know.
I don't get it. The board has got to have to be the size of the Empire State Building at each mile to get everybody's times on.
It doesn't need everybody. It just needs some
just select few. Just the people who are wearing saw running kit. Yeah.
No. It could be the one spread across it. I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm sticking with it.
Oh, can we not get the old boy back on? Where's Hayden? This is embarrassing.
Right, shall I give you a sensible one? Middle of the race.
Just try and recover, Tope. Go and think of go on Google, go on Runner's World, look up tips for race day, and then come back. Okay? And pretend
I've got some brilliant ones. It's right, we'll come to them afterwards.
Oh,
I'm gonna take us back down to something sensible.
Please help.
Cheers. So you said you're halfway through the race, right? What tips we got? Mine is listen to your body, because at halfway you will know whether you are feeling good and it's going to plan, or whether you're feeling like this is harder work than it should be and something's not quite right here. We said it last week, but the most important thing I genuinely think of any race you do, whether it be park run, whether it's going out on your own, whether it's half marathon, etc., is listen to your body. So if something is hurting, it's not feeling right, and not just hurting as in this is hard work, but as in I can just see these two giggling. Right, can't even concentrate anymore. But it's really important that if it's not right, back out, because you are better off getting to the end safely than you are basically just trying to ending up on the side of the road. So that's my tip: is always listen. Do that check over. Chris, you always say it in London, you're like,
yeah. I think any race.
Yeah.
Any race. It doesn't matter whether, even if you're doing 5K park run.
Yeah.
Right, breaking it down into 1K splits. And that's whether you're doing the first ever park run or first ever 5K. Go, right, 1K, how am I feeling? Boom. All right, I'm all right. I'm still alive. My legs are still moving. 2K, right, this is not so bad. I'm not going to vomit. I might not die at the end of this. And you're literally checking yourself over that 5K. It could be the same again for 13 miles, half marathon. Whatever, however you look at it, it's just reflecting on yourself and giving yourself a point pre-race, saying to yourself, right, I'm going to check in with myself about whatever. Because you thought about how you're going to run that race, whether you go hard at the start, easy, whatever it is. just checking yourself over and then listen to yourself. Do you kick on? Well, actually, my legs are hurting a bit. Or you know what I mean, or have I fueled it right? That sort of stuff. It is. Yeah, it's a really good thing to do to check in with yourself. But you could do that while you're reading where you are in the race on the sign to see if you're on pace or not. You could then check in to see how you are. But it's, I think you too. I'm not talking about idiot brains up there, but I've spoken about something that's sort of it relates to both. It ties up to having a strategy or having some form of plan before you start. So you could marry the whole thing up and actually say it is to have some form of plan. And like you said, whether it's gold, silver, bronze, ABC, whatever it is, but have some form of strategy that you're not just going to get to the start line. I mean, listen, we all have races like that or events where we just get to the start line and we just do what we can that day. Maybe we've been out or whatever. But if it's something like, let's say it's a special event to you, large scale event, maybe you're going for a time, whatever, or it's your first big race, it is really a good advice. I know this is sort of mid-race tips we're talking about, but to have that strategy, but also to have that strategy and that plan, but have a backup. So if it does go Pete Tong, you go, right, actually, my default position is X. I'm going to go back to that, and that's going to get me out of jail. So let's use Ben, who's probably upside down in Ibiza at the moment. If it, he's got his strategy for London, but he knows that 20 miles, if it's not going to plan or whatever distance he decides, he knows he could probably step back to that easy pace that he was doing those first long runs at, and he'll be able to get home. So whether that's for Ben goes back out to 10.5-minute miles or whatever that is, I don't know. But it's that sort of having that thing in the back of your mind, and that's always a powerful tool to have on race day. And I think it's having, and we spoke about it before, right? Having that toolbox on race day that you can open up and take out whatever you need up here in your mind to pull out on those days. Whether it's you're struggling, it's that struggling card. What do I need? You're a bit emotional. What do I need? You're a little bit ahead of pace, or whatever you need in that toolbox that you can take out on the day and use. That's a real essential thing, and hopefully you've learned some of that during your long runs, or if you're doing Couch to 5K, for example, that you've learned as you've gone up to that distance. The days when you've been struggling, you've learned how to adapt and get around that. That's really important to have that sort of that toolbox at your disposal, or that card you can play out of your back pocket. That's a really good, and it goes back to what you two ladies were saying about having that plan or having that strategy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not even like it's on race day as well. Like, I know you touched on it there. Like, it can be during your long runs, or you can be, if you're doing Couch to 5K, but even your training runs, like, treat them like you're about to go into the race. Like, you could be having a really, really, really bad morning. You might be going out for, say, a 3-miler, or you might be going out for a 10-miler, but treat it like, how would you unpick that toolbox? What would you take out? Say, for example, this was a race situation. Use all of these runs that we do week in, week out, and treat them like they're more than a run. Not necessarily go and smash it and go and hit the pace, but if you're feeling a little bit not feeling like yourself, train your body, talk to yourself. Is this right? And then you sort of know when it comes to that race day, I've done this before. I know that my body reacts better if I just pull back a little bit, or if I switch up what I'm listening to. Like, these little things you can use throughout, whether you're doing a 16-week plan, an 8-week plan, a Couch to 5K plan, all of these different plans, you can implement these things.
Yeah, I think there's also, that's really good advice, actually. And there's those, I think there's other sort of in-race tips that come to mind, like running to, whether if you know the course, it's a little bit easier, right? So, like, I don't know, like I was filming a London Marathon tips thing. I was down on the embankment, so it's like running to the different landmarks, that kind of stuff. So breaking the course down. I've said it to it before, but like, even when Tobe was saying about in his Tokyo, where it didn't go to plan, he was going lamppost to lamppost, or he was, you're picking something in the distance, or we've said it, I think Wilco even said it was about picking different color cars, or look for certain different people in the crowd, or spot the different like McDonald's or KFCs and things like that. It's that sort of thing.
Can you go in them?
What is it?
Are you allowed to go in them?
No. But you could, try and focus in on different things. Like, they're cool little things to do. Like, not play games, because that's mentally taxing. But if you can do something as easy as, well, I'm now going to count how many people have hats on. And that sort of, it's something, whatever works for you, or you're running along. I'm gonna count how many people are in 40 runs tops. Oh, I don't know, something like that. There's something that's taking your mind off the fact that maybe you're exerting yourself a little bit too much, or you're not having a great day. So you need something to sort of just tick you over until you're done and dusted. I think there are other little things. Start interacting with the crowd's another one. I don't know whether you guys have done that. If you're hurting, to start talking to like randoms in the crowd, like start telling them to like cheer more and stuff like that. Good ways to distract, and change up what you're doing. High five the kids and that sort of stuff always helps.
It's different mental techniques, isn't it? Different things. It distracts you from the time and looking at your watch, because that's the worst thing to do if it's starting to get hard and it's tough, right? Is going, oh my God,
it's the worst.
Lost space, right? Or that isn't. There's a lady who I won't name, but she comes to one of our sessions and she's doing she's doing her first half this weekend. She said, do you think I'll finish it? Well, of course you'll finish it, right? What do you mean? Of course you will. That's all that was in her head. And I said to her afterwards, I said, the best thing you could do is just count 40 tops. I went, right, because I know which wave she's in. I went, and I know what landmarks is like, and it twists and it turns. So you see people constantly. I went, just look at the other side, and all you've got to do is think about how many 40 tops you see. Just look out for them. I said, you'll kill 5 miles just by doing that whilst it's twisting and turning. And by the time you then got in there, you come out the other end, you're on the embankment. You're on the home straight.
Yeah, it's true.
Good idea. I was like, there you go.
All right, well, look, I tell you what then. Let's use that as an example. You've got somebody who's running their first half marathon. So look back. If you was telling yourself before your first half marathon, what would you tell yourself, Jatila?
Before my first half marathon? I mean, I wasn't really thinking much apart from just finish the thing. I literally had no thought, because my first one was Victoria Park. And if you've run around Victoria Park, I mean, there's not much to keep yourself entertained. It's like 6-something laps.
But what would you tell yourself now, looking back? What have you learned? What's that one thing, 2 things that you'd say to yourself? Listen, mate.
Mainly enjoy it and like keep upbeat. I think the worst thing that I did sort of with doing those first few races was taking myself way too seriously. I felt like I had to really push or really get the goal that I wanted to achieve. And I was getting nervous. Warm-ups, I was nervous. I was worrying about what was around me because I was completely new to the vibe, really. And it wasn't until I started actually enjoying it, being upbeat, sort of, if I see the camera, sort of cheer and shout and like get on with the crowd and talk to people, clap people along that might be running past you or you're running past them, just giving them a little bit of a boost. And you sometimes see yourself just go that little bit faster just from being upbeat and positive, whether it's to yourself or with other people. So now I always try and go into my races trying to be as upbeat as possible and positive as possible, because you don't really know who you're actually going to help apart from yourself. Like there might be someone that's really having a tough time, but not only have you helped yourself, you've also helped them. So try and keep as upbeat as possible in the situation that you're in, because there's nothing else you can do otherwise,
What about you, Abin?
This is like a really cliche one, but finish line, not finish time. Everyone's covering the same distance, so it just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if your watch is going to say that you've done it in an hour and a half or you've done it in 4 hours. We're all going to get there. We'll get the same medal at the end of it. And it just doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter if you've trained. So I know it matters on a personal level because you're like, why didn't it happen? We've all been there where you're just like, how has this not happened? Because the training's gone to plan, everything's great. You just don't know, but it doesn't matter. It just, in the grand scheme of things, the fact is you've still done a 5K, 10K, half, a marathon, whatever it is you've just gone out and done. Be proud of that. Don't take away from what you've achieved because a number doesn't quite say what you expected it to.
Good. Yeah, I like that. What about you, Speaker?
And
if it's got anything to do with putting numbers on mile markers, I'm going to get off. I'm going to drive the nose in. I'm going to knock you out.
It might have helped. I learned 2 important things off my first. So London Landmarks was actually my first ever half marathon.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he blew up.
2019, something like that.
Oh,
Sorry?
The first Landmarks?
No, it's the second one, I think.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to look back. I can't remember when it was. 2018, 2019, something like that. And I learned 2 important things there. One which is something we always go on about now. Don't go too fast. Don't go off too fast. And the second thing is, if you haven't trained with him, don't eat jelly babies halfway around. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh, he's breaking the Portaloo.
Did you take him off some kid on the side of the road?
Yeah, he wasn't handing them out. I just grabbed them.
Just mugged him. Did you get anything else, Tom? Was it just the jelly babies you took off the child? His coat, his hat.
That's all I was interested in at that point. I went off too fast, so I needed some energy. So I took jelly babies. Hadn't tried them before. Don't try jelly babies if you haven't tried.
There you go. There you go. You know, the one thing I see it a lot, right? And I see it a lot in races in particular that I don't think anybody actually thinks about. And it's to lift your head up. Because when you get tired, when you get fatigued, when it's not going your way or you're into that race, your shoulders naturally slump forward. You naturally start moving that way. And you've got all that weight in your head. And it starts going further and further down. And you see everyone. I know it's audio based, but you're down, aren't you? And you're sort of just slugging it out, shuffling along. Like, you know, and you just want to get to the end. It's one of the biggest, that's the worst English. It's one of the biggest things I would say to anybody is to lift your head and look where you're going. And remember that you're closing in on it. Yeah. By looking at the ground, there's nothing on the ground that's going to help you. The only thing on the ground is going to be old gel papers and cups, right? And sticky ground. There's nothing on the floor that's going to save you from the pain that you're in. Lift your head up and smile. Shoulders back. Be proud. Get some of that oxygen in. Open up your chest. But lift your head, people. Look above. Look at the horizon, whether it's you're picking a tree in the distance or, I don't know, some geezer's like Simon's bald head that's 3 or 4 ahead of you, right?
He might be on the ground.
And take in. Because if you're down here, your efficiency's gone. Your running form's going to be treble worse than it probably is anyway because you're ruined. But just pick yourself up. And even if you're feeling good and you're getting into it, but your head drops, keep that head up. It's so important for different reasons, but just honestly, keep your head up and smile because it will make a big difference, especially towards the end of that race. It really will. And you'll see it, right? For example, even landmarks this weekend or in Brighton, you go down to the 23-mile part, right? Or let's say landmarks at the bit as you go along to Big Ben and come back on that loop. I would say 90% of the people, other than the guys like me, who's going to be like, no, it won't be. But everyone else, most people, head will be down and they'll be like trying to bust out that last bit. Honestly, people, just lift your shoulders, lift your head, and think about that. That will make such a difference to you. You won't realise it, but it will. Trust me, big difference that will make.
That's actually really useful.
I know I'm a hero, haven't I? I think I've peaked.
That was very good. I'll give you that.
Now on that basis, does that mean I get 2 t-shirts and 2?
No.
Oh, don't.
Right.
We need to get this. I feel like we need to get the comments involved because I need to know more because
let me just go back.
Right.
No. Comment about it.
No, there was no comment about it.
There was. Here we go. Hero. You've got a Tokyo hat for you. Didn't know you ran. No, but I was there.
No, you weren't.
In spirit.
To be fair, you might as well have been there because you spent the whole 2 weeks on the FaceTime to Toby.
I know. Brilliant. Best time ever. And then when I saw him, it's so good. So anyway, I'm doing the 6 majors, t-shirt majors. If you're not, whoever that was, I'm doing the 6 t-shirt majors. It's an exclusive club. Nobody's in it other than me when I do it. You get the 6 t-shirts and then you get a special one, right? It just so happens I've got a beautiful Tokyo hat to go with it, which I'm going to be getting from Boston because my friends are going out there. If you want to get involved in this, obviously it's nothing to do with the 6 majors because I don't want to get hit with a trademark infringement or copyright. This is all about marathons that happen in the 6 cities in the world. Could be any cities. But I'm going for the 6 major t-shirts. I think everybody needs to get involved in this. It's a new craze.
Which is soon to be 7. So we hear.
Yeah, 7. It's soon to be 7. So I'm going to send one of my representatives over. When I say I'm going to send them, obviously they've got to pay for their own travel and expense it themselves. But I would expect t-shirt and hat back from that race. So Jatila's kindly offered, along with Hayden, although...
Wait.
Hang on. I'm just saying it's great news that the pool's finished at his place because that means he can concentrate 100%, not just running Boston, but also getting my t-shirt and hat with Jatila while they're out there.
So I thought we'd play a little game because you quite
What?
like playing games, right?
I got my watch on. It's
That's right.
Charlie.
You don't need it. You don't need the watch.
Oh.
Nothing to do with that. You this week got people writing essays, shall we call it? Right? Yeah. Right. Let's. So, the 7th, by the way, is going to be Sydney, apparently.
Yeah,
Let's
Sydney.
all go.
Or Melbourne. There we go.
Let's go.
Anyway, back to my game. So, based on that, and you now want Jatila to come back with goodies for you from the other side of the world.
Which I'm going to pay for.
Yes, I don't care who's paying for them.
Toby can.
It's still the effort. So I thought I'm going to ask you some questions based on that 1,500-word essay.
Who you're going to ask questions?
I'm going to ask you the questions.
My internet's not working.
Depending on how many you get right will depend on who you get.
And is this based on the thing that she wrote?
Right. So let's start.
No, hang on, just stop a sec. Can we just clarify? Hang on,
Yes.
let me just get my phone.
No, don't cheat. It is
You need a bit of lightning round graphics. Do you want to?
No, because he's gonna cheat. Don't cheat, Chris. Put the phone down.
Look, if you don't look at the camera, we're going to minus a point.
Yeah. Right. Don't
Don't
put your phone up there. Take that phone down. Right. First question. Stop it. What? Ready?
This is an award-winning podcast, right?
Yeah.
It's the biggest independent running podcast in the UK, and you're wasting these people's time with these silly quizzes.
So just for some background before we go into this, I did a lovely introduction as to who I am and all about me, and everybody gave praise and loved reading it. So our lovely Sabrina is going to read some questions out for Chris and see if he actually listened to my introduction. If he can get over a certain
Is it
amount,
multiple choice?
I will bring that T-shirt back for you and even sign it for you. But let's see.
I'm going to ring Hayden. He would have read it. Is this multiple choice?
No, absolutely not. But I've got plenty of questions. So
No, let's do because I'm worried about the viewers. And
you got 3 questions, really quick.
That's all.
What is one of Jatila's middle names? There's plenty to choose from.
John?
Fail. 1.
Got to be trouble, Tobe.
You're already in trouble. I ain't helping you.
Traveling, and Jatila went traveling and won an award for sorting fruit the fastest. What fruit was it? Bonus point if you get the country as well.
Tobe, what's the answer?
No.
Once you say you don't know, I'll tell you.
Stop it.
Is he timed out yet?
How long have I got to answer this? What was the question again?
Right, no, you failed that.
Australian bananas.
It was mangoes, and it was in Barbados.
Oh, I wish. Definitely was not.
Question 3. There's a picture of Jatila basically face planted the floor after a race. What distance was that race?
200 meters.
Yes.
Yeah, oh my God. So I get another go.
Okay, you can have a bonus question now.
Yeah, this is it. It's all on this. Double or nothing, yeah?
Jatila lives near a famous stadium, and the station has a fruit on it. What is it?
What?
3, 2.
Craven Cottage.
No.
Strawberry.
Strawberry Hill, by the land of the world of rugby.
I've got absolutely no idea.
Awful.
Do I get a Boston top?
I mean, Toby, you actually put your hand up for every single question, so I'm proud.
I'm ringing
See,
Hayden.
Andrew
Boston
put it
top.
up there.
Basically, Toby's getting a Boston top.
Yeah.
And you're not getting anything. This
I'm
works
ringing
out very
Hayden.
well.
Hayden's too busy sorting out his Instagram followers.
I am shocked. You even replied with a good gif saying, proud, great presentation.
I still can't believe you did it. I still can't believe you did it. The fact that anybody takes anything I say seriously is just...
I really enjoyed doing it. I know Adam's posted up there, I can't answer these, and I listened to the pod. Oh, don't worry, Adam. It wasn't on the pod.
Yeah,
so
don't worry. But I think what we've achieved today, really, just let's recap the podcast first. I think so we can... I was late. Toby came up with the worst idea ever, and I didn't read Jatila's masterpiece. That was
And I'm getting a Boston top.
Oh, and Hayden, follow Hayden on Instagram to see his new pool. Oh, we gave some race tips out. That's probably about it, isn't it?
Didn't screw up the intro. We've
Oh,
done
is
it
it?
right, I think.
Right, but that was it. So that was an hour wasted of your time. So sorry for anybody who's listening. You're never going to get that hour back.
Not an hour, 45 minutes. I think there's 15 minutes of quality in there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you sent that to me,
15
though.
you weren't there for.
Oh,
Yeah.
the first 15 minutes. Right, you better wrap us up, admin. I think this has been our worst episode.
We are at an hour. Thank you very much to everyone for tuning in and listening on YouTube, because we weren't even on Facebook. Please send us in emails if you got them to fordyruns.com/longrun. Thank you again to our official sponsors at Skechers. Please head over to skechers.co.uk for all of the latest clothes and shoes. Chris and his hand. Go on.
Bite size is 8 p.m. on Monday.
Yeah.
Big news Saturday. Good luck, everybody, at the weekend. Adios.
Yeah. Out.
Ciao.
Thank you. Take care, guys. See you next week. In fact, we won't. Colin Jackson special's out next week. Listen to that.
Buzzing
Thank
for
you
that.
very much.